We're also celebrating another great achievement here at Channel 2. As Frank hangs up his clicker, he's passing the umbrella over to our very own Anthony Yanez. Anthony is joining us now to discuss his new role as Chief Meteorologist. Anthony Yanez has a ring to it.
Yeah, and it's strange to hear, but it makes me think back to my first day of work here at KPRC 2. It was with Frank.
The first go around.
First go around. I remember it because it was July 15th, 2003, and it was the day Hurricane Claudette, Category 1 hurricane, was hitting the Texas shore, southeast Texas, specifically Galveston. And so that day I'm supposed to be filling out paperwork with Rosa, who was our HR person at the time. Do you remember Rosa, Glenn?
What's that?
Rosa, do you remember our HR person, Rosa?
Yeah.
From many moons ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. What's funny about Rosa was she was the one, she's handing out these pamphlets to me, and I'm looking at them, and she could see that I don't know what these pamphlets are. She's like, oh yeah, these are for if you ever go loony, you need these. And first of all, HR is not like this now.
Right.
Back in the days, that's how HR was treated with mental
health issues.
Health issues. But anyways, I'm supposed to be doing that. I'm not doing that with Rosa. They are on the air from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
And this was before this space right here existed.
Yes, and so he's on the entire time. At about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Frank looks at me and he says, don't worry, Anthony, not every day is like this. And that was my introduction to Houston, to Southeast Texas. And of course, we've worked together really ever since, with just a gap of a little bit while I went and worked off in Los Angeles.
And that was July 15th, 2003.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. First day of work.
That is incredible. Talk to us about, getting into meteorology, your journey as a meteorologist, the places you've been, your most memorable assignment. Take us back.
Well, I get, honestly, the thing that I remember most, it really has to do with Frank, because Frank, he says puns all the time on TV, but he has these great
one-liners.
sayings. He has great one-liners, and most of them he says off camera, and a handful of them he really can't
say on camera.
But he's so quick, and he's so
witty,
fun. He's great,
and so smart. So smart.
And brilliant. And one that sticks out to me, the only times we really ever got to hang out, because he was always evening shift and I was always morning shift, so they never
not a lot of overlap.
You just really never see each other. But I always looked forward to weather conferences, like the AMS Broadcast Meteorology Conference we get to go to once a year. That would be really the only time we get to hang out and spend all day together. And I remember one conference in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I don't know why it stuck out to me, but it just kind of shows how fun he is. But we're sitting kind of in this restaurant bar area, and we're kind of signing up and registering for the conference and getting things set up. And he walks in, and he's always large in charge. He just fills up the room
big
with
presence,
this huge personality. And he shouts out, "What does a celebrity have to do to get a drink around here?" And what's funny, because I know Frank, it's just funny to me. And everyone who knows Frank, it's just a funny line. But for people who are just getting into the business, these people who just got out of college, who are like 22, 23 years old, and you have this guy say that, and they don't know how to take it serious or to take it serious or what. So there's this uncomfortable laugh from them, and while the rest of us are just dying laughing because
a great
that's
icebreaker.
Frank.
That is Frank. That is Frank. And behind those jokes and that sense of humor is a man who cares so much about his community. I remember when I first got here, it was an assignment similar to you. Our schedules really don't overlap all that much, me being mornings, him being in the evenings. He sent me an email saying how impressed he was with my report, and how there was a layer of ethos that he hadn't seen in a while. And so, he's so very kind, and he wants his community to be in the knowing and safe at all times.
And two things along those lines. When I was interviewing for the job here, I interviewed with him first, and he said, "Hey, listen, you're going to talk to the general manager. The general manager is going to ask you one very important question. It's like, why will people watch you? Why do people want to watch you?" He said, "Have an answer for that." So he gave me a heads up. And then the other thing he did when I did get the job, one of the first things he did was, we do hurricane talks. It's similar to school visits out there with adults. And so the hurricane talks, you go to businesses, oil, gas companies,
engagements like that.
Engagements. Liquid Yacht Club was the most recent one I did. And he took me just to show me what it's like. Because Albuquerque, New Mexico is where I was from, where I was working before. We never did anything like that. We never got invited to do a hurricane talk or any kind of even weather talk. It's a desert.
Yeah.
So there's not a whole lot there, at least especially back then. Maybe a monsoon talk, but nobody ever invited me out to something like that. But he invited me to watch his hurricane talk,
so you could become familiar.
Yes, but first of all, his talk it's so entertaining.
Yeah. And engaging. Yeah.
And then it teaches everybody there, here's what you need to know, and then the serious message of here's where we live, here's how you keep you and your family safe. But just that whole captivating the audience with humor, engagement, and with a very powerful message. And that was how I was introduced to him. He's like, here's what you do here, working here.
And he keeps it fresh. Year after year, he's invited back to these engagements, and each year you can learn something new from him.
And as you know, every year you have new storms. And so you add in the new storms, you take out old ones. I mean, my first hurricane talk had Hurricane Carla in it, had Alicia, and I haven't talked about those storms in a while. I would probably want to bring back Alicia to show you about the windstorm we had, the derecho we had a couple months ago.
Oh yeah, there were a lot of comparisons between the two.
But you have this whole library of graphics and messages and how much forecasting has really changed.
So much knowledge. Okay, we got to ask you, my producer, Kate's giving me a wrap, but she said before we wrap, we need to find out what your goal is as chief.
You know what? So much has changed in this industry, and really it's the digital aspect of this job. And so, hey, look at that guy right there. There's so much with the digital part of this job and how we reach an audience, because not many people are watching TV anymore. We're not on
the
TV.
Linear, right?
We're on digital right now. And so how do you bridge that gap and make it
meeting people where they're
message?
at?
Yes. How do you use social media, but also how do you use KPRC to no, not KPRC, click2houston.com. Already messed that up. Click2houston.com. How do you use that to reach your audience? How digitally do you get your audience to engage with you while the TV audience shrinks?
Yeah. That's a great question. We have Mario Diaz.
What did Mario do?
Mario, do we want to?
What did you have? Let's see. What does Mario have? You should people watch.
Watch people watching 24.
Whoa. Yes.
Right?
Put the why.
Okay, really quick. Last question. Serious. What are you going to miss the most about mornings?
You know,
this is where you've hung your hat for decades.
The fun of it. It's fun. There's everybody here's a fun personality. You, Justina, Owen. I've worked with Sophia, Lauren, Rachel, and how delightful all of them were, and how much fun. The fun on this show is really the commercial breaks, and how much we laugh and joke around with all of us. You hide my watch.
I know.
I'm not
Where is
wearing
your
my watch
watch?
because I don't know where it is, because you take it when I take it off in the morning, and you hide it somewhere. So it's silly things like that. I'm going to miss the fun.
Well, you'll have to bring the fun to evenings. When do you start?
I start Monday.
Monday, July 1st.
July 1st.
Goodbye, alarm clocks.
Alarm clock is done.
Adios, amigos.
3 more days of an alarm clock, and that's it.
Okay.
1:45 a.m. done.
Don't brag about that. Get out of here. Go. Enough.
You don't wake up at 1:45.
No, 5 o'clock. And I'm going to keep it there. No earlier.